You've only slept for an hour. Sorry if I woke you up. I've tried to be quiet. You can go back to sleep if you want. You probably need the rest. Or we could stay up and talk. We're not going anywhere for a while. I'm sorry you had such a terrible time on your very first scrap run. It is basically a scrap run, although resource recovery mission sounds better, of course. No, don't beat yourself up. You did well. That storm came out of nowhere. And that crashed atmospheric processor will still be there when it's over. More or less intact. Probably. Storm is getting worse. Don't worry. We're perfectly safe here. This shelter is solidly built and halfway on the ground. I'm glad we found this place when we did. I wouldn't want to be out there right now. Well, you were the one who found it, to be fair. Not me. How you can read so much from the shape of the terrain around you, I will never understand. And you practically hauled me up the last few hills. No wonder you're exhausted. Adrenaline can be amazing, but when it runs out, you crash. It will take a while before anyone comes to get us. Oh, a day or two. Maybe 3. Yes, they have confirmed it. I managed to get the emergency beacon up and running. Yeah, while you slept. They picked up on it a little while ago. That was a big relief. I'm surprised the notification didn't wake you up, but I guess you're a pretty heavy sleeper. And the storm muffles sound a bit, even in here. They just said they'd come and pick us up eventually. That was after I told them we had everything we needed, and neither of us were injured. Just tired. There are others out there without proper shelters, so we're not their top priority. And it would be easier for a dropship to land if the sandstorm quiets down a bit. You'd think they'd gotten better at predicting these storms. I suppose they have, but some of them still seem to come out of nowhere. No warning at all. Yes, the company is still new to this cleanup project, and it is a big one, but they should have plenty of data from before it was shut down to work from. Do you know why it was shut down? Me neither. There are always lots of rumors, but the real reason is probably boring. Usually it's funding or bad project management. Sometimes politics. I read about this one terraforming project that was shut down because the alien soil contained some sort of mineral that interfered with normal conspiracies. Look at that. Oh, you can't see it from over there. There's a small tornado across the valley. No worries. It's dissipating already. The land vehicles. No, they're not going anywhere in this weather. The storm pretty much wrecks them. Or not wrecks them exactly, but you need to clean out a lot of sand and decontaminate them before they'll start up again. It doesn't look that intense from in here, but all that sand and wind does a lot of damage to exposed machinery. Not right away, but after a few hours. Our vehicle was not an exception, no. They're all that bad. You know, sand gets in everywhere, in the cracks. I'm surprised ours lasted as long as it did. It got us most of the way here before it collapsed. No, I don't think that will improve any day soon. We will continue to use crappy land vehicles with exposed engines for the foreseeable future. It's not like we're that well funded. Cleaning up unsuccessful terraforming projects can be lucrative, you'd think. Lots of metals, tech, and expensive compounds left behind, but apparently not for our company. At least they keep skimping on equipment. Yeah, that's also why we work on commission, right? No results, no pay, but at least we get room and board, no matter how crappy our results are, and rescue, in this case. And we are a good team so far. Yeah, I think so. Don't you? You have a nose for finding valuable scrap down here, and I have something as well, I'm sure. Experience, right, that's the one. Looks good on paper, at least. Space scrap collector. That's not what I imagined using my degree for. Remember when we were kids? You wanted to be a journalist and I wanted to be a pilot. Mostly we just wanted to get away from the little backwater planet we grew up on. And we did. But of course everything ended up differently than we thought. Not necessarily worse, but different. I do feel a bit guilty. No, not because we ended up in a storm shelter. That's almost a good thing. We could use a break. No, because I recommended this job to you. And I can see that you've been struggling. At least a bit. I thought we would end up on the same team right away, so I could help you out, and I did request it. But you ended up behind a desk for the first 6 months, and I know that's not what you would have chosen. You like to be out and about, like me, doing something practical, bad. Do you mean that? I'm glad if that's true, but I find it a little hard to believe. Why? Because I have known you for a long time, and because I know what it's like. I got stuck in admin too, when I first started out. Maybe they do that to every newbie. How was the onboarding process for you? Was it as bad as when I started? When I started, it was practically non-existent. No one was assigned to teach me anything or guide me. I had to figure stuff out on my own, for the most part. It was slow going, a lot of wasted time. Whenever I had to learn a new software or something, and you know those e-learning courses are not very good, I would have to ask colleague after colleague until someone agreed to help me. And then we'd book a 2-hour meeting sometime the next week or the week after that, because that was the next available time in their calendar. And I could see that they did not want to do it. The way they reacted, tried to get out of it, it made me feel terrible. I mean, they were nice people, but overworked. They had enough on their plate and didn't want this thrown at them as well. But I suppose it's normal to feel lost in a new job. It seemed like you were going through the same stuff when you first started out. Yes, I could tell. Whenever we docked with our cargo full of loot from the latest job, whether it was an abandoned ship or a closed mining project or whatever, and I saw you in the hallway or break room or somewhere, you would always have this slightly panicked look on your face. Yeah, just like that. Oh, I don't think people noticed. Yes, I noticed, but I know you. Other people would probably just think you were stressed. You've always been a perfectionist. That's probably why they wanted you to do admin work for so long. You got good at it, I bet. But the thing about perfectionism is it often comes from fear of failure or from being criticized a lot in the past. I bet you felt like you weren't good enough, and that sort of thing doesn't really go away. You could have stayed in admin for 10 years and still felt it on a regular basis. Our experience helps a bit. It can mellow your anxieties and hang-ups. But if it is a core part of your personality, it will never really go away. No, I'm not a mind reader. Far from it. I know because I recognize it. We are probably more alike than you think. Sorry, you probably don't want to talk about this. Not now when you finally got rid of that admin work and get to work off ship with me. I hope you don't mind too much being stuck here for for a few days. I suppose I could have lied and told them we needed immediate rescue. But to be honest, I could use the break too. I think it's kinda nice, spending some time cut off from everything. You can't get more off-grid than this. And looking out at the landscape is kinda soothing. I looked around a bit while you slept. Tried to take stock of what we've got. Yes, I made a numbered list. You know I like those. I think this is one of those repurposed labs. Yeah, originally. Stage 3 of a terraforming project. A small field lab intended to help stabilize a budding ecosystem, and then turned into an emergency shelter when they decided to mostly abandon this world. It's not the best equipped. They probably just left a lot of stuff here that they couldn't take with them anyway, in case someone would need it. And we are probably the first ones to use it. It will keep us alive and mostly comfortable until we are rescued. Well, we have stable life support. That's always nice. Don't have to worry about breathing. Yep, we can breathe as much as we like. What luxury. We also have an airlock with a functioning decontamination system. Not bad. There's radiation shielding, pressure regulation, temperature control, and we have furniture, beds at least, and a table. We have plenty of water and food, or rations at least. There's nutrient bars, protein paste, emergency calorie gel, freeze-dried meals, I think. Yeah, the kind where you just add water. There's chicken curry. Well, chicken flavored curry anyway. Quite a lot of it. And some sort of meat stew. There's even vegetable lasagna, although that one doesn't look very good. And jello for dessert. Canned food as well. I haven't gone through that yet. I also found a small hydroponic starter kit, but no seeds, and an algae starter culture. Expired 5 years ago. There's 2 first aid kits, antibiotics, painkillers, even a small portable tissue regenerator. We could regrow a finger if one of us were to lose one. On the entertainment front, they skimped on that, it seems. The only thing I found that could help us pass the time is a single deck of cards. Yeah, that's it. There's more stuff, but if I keep listing it, you'll probably fall asleep again. It's all practical. Tools and repair kits, that sort of thing. see the gears in your head moving. Yeah, you always were an overthinker. You get caught in a loop and then you cannot sleep. Yeah, I know you just slept, but that was just for 1 hour and from sheer exhaustion. Let us try to change focus, okay? Take a few deep breaths with me. Breathe out all the tension in your body. Look out at the landscape. What do you see? Just an alien landscape. Dead and wild. Empty. Is that a good thing for you? I think it can be. This world is devoid of life. Or almost. It refused to conform to us, to our attempts of shaping it. Does it have nature? There are natural forces here, but little life, only bacteria that we placed here. People seeded this planet with life, and now we are leaving. It can develop on its own terms from now on, but we have changed this place. We have put something into motion. I wonder what it will look like in a few million years, or a few 100 million. Life takes a long time to jump from single-cell organisms to animal life. Yeah, I like the landscape too. Jagged and wild, naked mountains. There's nothing out there. No forms to fill out, no deadlines, no meetings, no demands. This place will remain exactly the same for the rest of our lives, and for a long, long time after that. This planet has all the time in the world. That's the way life should be, I think. Like a slow, lazy river, taking its time. Are you feeling better? A little. It's nice when you have the time and are in a quiet place to be able to turn off your brain and be in the present. It's not meditation exactly. Maybe it is a sort of mindfulness, just stopping the ever-present inner monologue and focusing on your senses and your body. I'm not saying it's easy, but I do try to practice it every day. It is like a skill or a groove in your brain. How do I explain this? Your brain gets better at what you do regularly. Your habits are like grooves or well-worn paths in your brain. It's easy to go down a path you've gone down many times before. Every step is familiar, and the ground is smooth under your feet. It's more difficult to create a new path, then you will meet more resistance. That's why it's so easy to fall back into rumination or self-criticism, if that's what you're used to doing. So, I guess I've been trying to carve a new path in my brain. It would be nice if this peace of mind was something I could just switch on when I had a quiet moment, instead of worrying. I'm not saying this will definitely help for you. Everyone's different, but it might be worth a try. Hey, I can see you're about